I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020. I look out my window here in Golden, Colorado, and it is a record snow season. The lowest amount of snow ever recorded in Colorado's history as of this moment on January the 18th. So there's a river of air above us cycling regularly. Let's take a look at what's going on right now on the Sunday report, January the 18th. All right, let's take a look and see what's going on. We can see here, you can see that we do have what I'm calling record cold snow, drought, and Arctic blast on this January the 18th. Look at this chart closely. Look at it. This is the snow water equivalent for Colorado, okay? State of Colorado. Colorado is currently having their lowest snow season ever. Here's all the other seasons that are in these shades, all right? The blue shades are way above average snow seasons. The red shades are the driest years ever. And this red line here is the lowest year ever. And look where we are right now, right here. That black line, that is the 2026, 2025, 2026 season. Notice how it has just dipped below the lowest season ever, and there's no snow in the forecast. So it's going to flatline here for a little while before it goes up a little bit. But it could be, and right now is, the lowest snow season ever in Colorado's history. In California, it's not as bad. It's in the green, so near the average, but it's also flatlined a little bit and heading towards the yellow, but still way above their lowest snow season ever. California's been having storm systems on schedule. This year, as you know, we've been tracking two main phases of the pattern. The phase we're in right now, through the end of January, is northwest flow, basically. Little snow systems, one of which could hit Chicago and Boston today for the two big games going on in the NFL. Warm and dry stretches out west. That's the pattern we're in now. By the end of the month, in the first 15 days of February, we're going to go into this phase of the pattern, phase 2, which should bring some storms to California, either now or for certain, 90% certainty, in the return in the big California storm in the first half of March. So that's going to come back. But regardless, Colorado is dry and dry with each pattern. It's been hard to get systems because there's been an anchor ridge. But these are the two phases of the weather pattern. Look what's been going on in the past 30 days. A little stretch of precipitation did hit parts of Kansas, Iowa, into the Great Lakes. And out west it was still wet. In the past, since this pattern began, it's been mostly wet from California into North Dakota. All right? And lots of dry areas. And then temperature-wise, as you can see, the last 30 days, warmer than average nationwide. I know cold air is coming down now. Overall, since this pattern began, it's been much above average. You can see here, much above average over a large part of the country. So that's what's been happening and is likely to continue. This is the flow of loft, the river of air at 18,000 feet up in the atmosphere, flowing around a polar vortex. You can see right in here. And the flow coming out of the northwest, this is going to bring more Arctic blast down. And there's a block, a high over low block. That's a ridge. We're looking at the flow at 18,000 feet over a low in the Pacific. And this is blocking storms from the west coast of the United States at the moment. An Arctic front is forecasted to sneak down across Wyoming, northeast Colorado, to near Kansas City by Friday morning. It's a pretty strong cold air mass. Remember, the air blows away from high pressure at the surface. So this high pressure area coming down with another one to follow. And you can see how cold it is, minus 47 degrees right there. And this Arctic blast coming down across the Dakotas to the Great Lakes, clipping areas farther down to the south. It's been looking a little weaker. So unfortunately, look at this. The precipitation forecast for the next 10 days ending January the 28th. Clippers will continue to produce some snow from Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota into Illinois, A little heavier snow there, but nothing major except for near the lake effect areas. Until the lakes freeze over, you can see here they're going to have some more lake effect snow here, possibly 1 to 2 feet in a couple spots. And a system moving across the southeastern United States, but even that isn't that wet. And look how dry it is in Kansas, Colorado, back to California. And remember, this is in phase 1. Phase 2, the pattern will be approaching about after this 10-day period. The LRC is a centerpiece of the big atmospheric puzzle. The LRC sets the timing. These are the fringe pieces around it. La Nina we'll talk about in our next report. The Arctic oscillation, look, it's forecast to dip deeper negative to -3. If it gets down to -4 or lower, that Arctic air can come down even farther south. But this is the outlook right now. When the AO dips negative, Arctic air is more likely to blast south, so no shock, it's blasting south right now. Here's that storm in California that happened October the 14th. That week, a series of major storms came into California. Then it returned as we predicted it would. Around Christmas week, it happened. 5 to 10 inches of rain and 5 to 10 inches of rain. The forecast, the risk window for California is for the first half of March to be quite wet. So this is our forecast. Prepare for similar impacts right now. Then this happened in Czechoslovakia. Look at all the snow people are dealing with there. A major storm hit, and then here's the storm that hit France and Europe and England. Cycle 1, a tornado in France, and then January 9th, just northwest of Paris as well. So the pattern cycling, in fact, here's the cycling pattern. It's complex. I'll go over this detail in some other time, but notice how cycle 1 in red and cycle 2 in white, they're going hand in hand together. And I noticed that. I'm like, wow, I wonder what happened on these 2 dates, and there it is. So we know what's going to happen. They're going to get hit again in about 10 weeks. Now, the LRC winter forecast window, all of you snow removal customers that use us here in the Kansas City area, from February 5th to February 20th, we already had, remember, the end of November and early December major storm in Iowa and the Great Lakes at the end of November. Then early December, Kansas City got hit. The first plowable snow in Kansas City with 3 to 5 inches of snow. That's returning. So the projected return window is February 5th to 20th. This is the most likely window this season to produce movable snow. So elevated potential for snow or ice operations in this February 5th to 20th window. Could something happen outside of that window? Sure. But this is likely, especially centered around February 11th, 12th, 13th, right down the middle of those dates for Kansas City. It would be amazing. Not really, but for us, but to watch how they had one storm and then they may get one more storm. So the LRC-based risk window, not a guaranteed storm forecast, but we're opening up this window, this risk window for you. So very interesting. And then you can see our LRC model predictions that we will share more with you in the next few weeks. And a lot of you have this. You can join us here at weather2020.com. So there you go. There's your forecast. As you can see here, I hope everyone's doing great. Let me know if there's any questions. I'll write the next update for Tuesday or by Wednesday at the latest. And have a great start to your week. Let me know if there's any questions.